The German pronoun es. In today's lesson, I will show you when and how you have to use es. Because you've probably noticed already, you can use es in many different situations. Hi, my name is Jan and I'm your German teacher here on EasyDeutsch, your YouTube channel for German grammar. Today's topic is the pronoun es. Es is a very special pronoun in German. You have some uses that are really for beginners. I will cover them first. And then there's some uses that go from B2 and above. So in order to explain that to you the proper EasyDeutsch easy way, we will switch now to my ebook, German Grammar Explained Easily. So we are now in my ebook, German Grammar Explained Easily. Today's topic is the pronoun es. Es is quite special. So let's jump to the lesson. Where have it? There. Es is a special pronoun in the German language because it has many different functions. We can use it as a pronoun standing for a single word, a clause, and also an entire sentence. First of all, es is a personal pronoun. So if you don't know anything about personal pronouns yet, I recommend you watch the video about personal pronouns first. I will link that for you in the info cards. So let's have a look here. For example, we use es in Wie geht es dir? Mir geht es gut. So how are you? I'm good. Das ist mein Fahrrad. Es ist neu. This is my bike. It's new. So obviously it is the version of it. But you can see here we use it more than English uses is it. So let's have a look at the use of es first. The most obvious use is as a substitute. So for example, as a substitute for a neuter noun. That's the most common one. Das Auto ist rot. Es ist ein Ferrari. So here is es is used as a personal pronoun just to avoid repetition of the noun das Auto. We can also use es as a substitute for an entire sentence, so for an idea or situation. Was macht unsere Tochter? Ich weiß es nicht. So, what is our daughter doing? I don't know. I don't know it, word by word. Here, we substitute the whole question with es, because we could also say, ich weiß nicht, was unsere Tochter macht. We don't want to repeat that, that's why ich weiß es nicht. Here, technically, the verb wissen needs an accusative object, eine Akkusativergänzung. That's why we can use this es here. I've made videos about verbs with complements. That's the grammatical term for it. I will link them in the video in the info cards for you if you want to know more about it. Here, this es isn't obligatory because it's obvious what we're talking about. And remember, in German, everything that's obvious can be left out. So here, it could be here. It doesn't have to be here because it's obvious. But it replaces that entire sentence. But we can also replace an adjective with es. Meine Mutter ist sehr jung. Deine ist es nicht. We could obviously also say deine ist nicht jung oder deine ist alt. But we can also use it with es. Deine ist es nicht. So it's again more the situation. Your mom is young. Yours isn't young. Isn't it? Word by word. But in my opinion, that doesn't sound good in English. So here we replace young with es. This is actually not very common. So you can do that, but it's not common. It's simply for avoiding repetition. If you have heard young or if you have used young already quite often in the text, you can replace it here with es, but that's not very common, especially in informal spoken language. And we can also substitute a clause, so a part of the sentence. Es usually replaces the action here. So, Maria, du solltest doch das Geschirr abwaschen. Warum hast du es noch nicht gemacht? So, Maria, you should wash the dishes. Why haven't you done it yet? So here we do the same thing in English. Why haven't you done it yet? So we refer to das Geschirr abwaschen. Wash the dishes. So if we don't want to repeat that, we replace it with S. But replacing something is not the only thing that S can do. It can also represent something. For example, an entire subordinate clause. Let's have a look at an example. Es tut mir leid, dass ich gestern nicht da war. So, I am sorry that I haven't been there yesterday. In English is doing it completely different here. You could not put an it in here. It's I am sorry that I haven't been there yesterday. The way German does it is a little bit different. We always need a subject, right? So we always need a subject in the main clause, and the construction that you're sorry for something doesn't really have a subject here because you're referring to a situation. And again, a situation doesn't have a gender, right? So it's just an idea, a situation. And this is always replaced with S. We usually do this with das clauses, infinitive clauses, and indirect questions. So let's have a look at an example for each of those. With a das sentence, das Satz, es tut mir leid, dass ich gestern nicht da war. So here we need a subject and we are referring here already to the subordinate clause, to the das clause, das sentence. So if we put that one behind the main clause, we still need a subject here. Then we put an S, because that's simply the grammatical subject here of the main clause, because it refers to the situation we are explaining in the subordinate clause. If we do this the other way around, it's not necessary, because we already know what we're talking about. Dass ich gestern nicht da war, tut mir leid. Here, the whole subordinate clause acts as subject. That I haven't been here yesterday, I'm really sorry for that. And you can hear already, it doesn't really work like this. In English, you cannot turn this around. Indirect question is the same thing. Es ist fraglich, ob kommt. Here we can do it a little bit like this. It's questionable if he will show up, if he will come. If he will come is questionable. So here you can see it's similar to English with an indirect question. Infinitive clause, es ist leicht, Deutsch zu lernen. So it's easy to learn German. To learn German is easy. Here it's also similar to English. So those should be easy because you just do it just like in English. But you have to learn in German, you have to do this with the das Sätze, das clauses too. If you want to know more about das Sätze, indirect questions, and infinitive clauses, I have linked those 3 videos for you in the info cards, so you can check those ones out because I have detailed explanations about all of them. Let's have a look now at the use of S for impersonal verbs. Impersonal verb means simply a verb that can only be used in third person singular. For example, verbs of feeling and sensing. Wie geht es dir? Es schmeckt mir nicht. Es stinkt hier. So, how are you? I don't like the food. Es stinkt hier. It stinks. With the last example, you can see it's similar in English. The other 2 are not really doable like this in English, especially that one. How are you? Wie geht es dir? Here again, we need the subject. Es schmeckt mir nicht. It's like, I don't like it. I don't like the food. The food doesn't taste good. Es stinkt hier. It stinks. We always refer to the situation. That's why S. and we describe a feeling or sensing. That's when we use es. Also for verbs that describe the weather, es regnet, so it rains, es schneit, it snows, same like in English. Es ist sonnig, it's sunny. Es sind 12 Grad, it's 12 degrees. Same like in English, so that should be easy. Pay attention here. You cannot leave out the s here in any of those. Similar to English, you cannot drop the it here because you need the grammatical subject here. You also use s for the time of day or year. So es ist 12 Uhr, it's 12 o'clock. Es ist noch sehr früh, it's early. And the other things. For time of day or year, if you just want to state this, what time it is, what day it is, what year it is, then you use s. And you use s for specific expressions. It's something special. That's just has nothing to do with any rule. It's just like, it's like that. It grew like this in the language, and that's how it goes. Es gibt nichts Neues. There's nothing new. Es ist schwierig, leicht, einfach, schön. So it's complicated, easy, beautiful. Wo tut es weh? So what does hurt? Where does it hurt? Word by word. This is always referring to the overall situation or something, like something unknown or non-specific. And the rule again here is we need a grammatical subject, although we don't have any, because we just referring to a situation. So there is no subject, nothing that is acting. And we're talking about something that cannot get a gender. And that's when we always use s. And the last but not least, for everything that expresses sound. Es klingelt an der Tür. Es läuten die Glocken in der Kirche. So it rings at the door, word by word. The bells in the church ring. It rings the bells in the church, word by word. Here we use s if we refer to the overall situation. But pay attention, if we actually know where the sound comes from or what causes the sound, like in a second example, we have a subject. And then we can put that in front, and you can see already here, it's not conjugated like s. Die Glocken läuten in der Kirche. It's conjugated according to Glocken. So this is the subject here. Die Glocken läuten in der Kirche. We can still put that s here, but we don't have to, if we know what makes the sound. The first example, we don't know who is there, what makes the door ring, so we have to use s. For everything that expresses a sound, this is always an option. If we don't know who causes the sound or what causes the sound, it's always like this. If we know it, that's an option, but also this is common. They're both used. None of them is more common than the other one. If you have any further questions about s, please do not hesitate to write your questions in the comment section below. Also, if you didn't really get the second part of the video with the impersonal verbs and everything, don't worry too much. If you still have to watch that video in English, that's above your level. If you could watch that video already in German only, like on my second channel that I will link here in the info cards for you, then you should definitely check them out, because then you will see s in use with passive and with other stuff, where it's actually really the replacement of an idea, just the grammatical subject. When you use s in passive, I will link the passive video here for you too. And then I hope you've learned a lot today. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell if you want to get notifications when I publish new videos. And it's always a great support if you share my videos with your friends, with your family, everybody who wants to improve his or her German. And then I hope I will see you again in one of my next videos. And until then, viel Spaß und Erfolg beim Deutschlernen.